Well, welcome to another video. Unfortunately, I lost the audio on this, so well, I didn't lose it. It was just shocking. So I'm just showing you now the post buddies. As you can see, they've got like a serrated edge about a third of the way up, and as I'm nicely demonstrating, as you can see. And the other thing I wanted to point out was at the end there's like a chisel tip, a bit like a wood chisel really. So you can see when you drive it in, it's going to bite against the concrete, because this side here has to be facing outwards. And there's a mark on there, and that's got to be the maximum you drive it in. So you don't want to drive it in any further than that. So really that's your finished ground level. Other things I've got my trusty impact driver, a Makita 18 volt, amazing bit of kit, well worth getting if you haven't got one. It really does take a lot of the pain out of drilling and putting screws in. These I've got, these are Turbo Gold. I've got these from Screwfix. They're 5x60 as recommended by the manufacturers. They're self-drilling. They've got like almost like a drill bit on the end of them. And I'm just showing you my drill bit of choice. It's the Wera impactor, and I've also got one of these impact driver bits as well, just in case that proves to be a pain. But the good thing about this is it actually magnetically grips the screw onto the actual bit holder. So I'm trying to do this one-handed. So you basically slide the sleeve up, and there's a ring magnet in the end that holds the screw absolutely solid, so it won't drop off the drill bit. So it's really useful for confined spaces and where you can only use one hand. Really useful little bit of kit that. So highly recommend that. And not forgetting health and safety. Got some more heavy duty gloves there for when I'm hammering those stakes into the ground. I'm sure I'm going to hit my hand at least once, so anything that can stop me from that will be a bonus. And I just forgot to mention the spirit level. Obviously we've got to have one of those. So I've got the trusty lump hammer. That's a heavy beast, that one. I've got a little trowel for digging around it. I've got the fork just in case I need to break the ground up, and also the spade for digging around the old post. Right, so just going down to have a look at the offending item. And, as I say, nicely painted by Mrs. Cruncher last year, but got to be done again this year. As you can see, it's really waving about in the breeze. There's nothing holding it. It's rotted completely off. And there's Mrs. Cruncher's nice plants that she's been playing with. Right, we're in the other side now, over the neighbour's, in the neighbour's garden. As you can see, it really is wobbling about. Sun's blowing out a little bit there, but at least I got a decent day for it. So the top rail's coming away from the post as well, or it's been blowing around. I did fix that a little bit, but it needs sorting. And there you can see the bottom of the post absolutely rotted away. Just not held at all. It's totally snapped off at ground level, so it's rotted through. So what I've got to do is get the spade in here, clear out around it down to the concrete level, and hammer in my post buddies. Right, let's grab the spade and start digging them out. It's fairly easy to dig this. I mean, it's been raining yesterday, so the ground is quite soft, so I was quite lucky there really. It's not really compacted. And luckily enough, the concrete wasn't that deep. Probably about 3 inches down, maybe 3 to 4. As I say, I think this would be a lot harder. Oh, there's a little fan. I've got another fan. So yeah, I'm just really clearing the earth around the post just to expose the concrete. I suppose post hole they backfilled around the old wooden post. These don't tend to rot off in the ground. They tend to rot off above the ground, just where the ground meets the concrete. That's where they go. And as I say, I had a hell of a job with this one. it actually came down in the wind, and I had to sort of temporarily put it up with some nails and screws just to keep it from wrecking the whole fence. So this is long overdue. We were going to physically dig it out, myself, my neighbour and a mate. Well, we're all mates. We were going to have a bit of a barbecue come drinking session and have a fence post digging out party. But I was sort of early hours of the morning one day just searching YouTube for post replacement videos, and I came across this Post Buddy system, and I will post a link to the video that prompted me to buy these. So yeah, well done that man. I think it's mountain fencing and something else, but I'll pop the link in the description above so you can have a look how it's done properly. So I'm at it with a trowel now, just getting the last few remnants out, and I am down to the concrete now. So it wasn't very deep at all, so this part of the project was pretty easy. Not really a lot else to say. Let's say the dogs are the other side of the fence wondering what the hell's going on, and Maddie's out there running around with a pair of my gloves in her mouth, so I can't do nothing about it because I can't get to the other side of the fence. I've got to walk all the way up through the neighbour's garden, out through his driveway, and then back down through my side gate to get back in, so she can play with him for now. I'm just making sure really that I am 100% down to where I need to be, because you've only got really one go at hammering these stakes in. If I hammer it in wonky or in the wrong place, then I'm going to be in a bit of trouble. So I think that's it. Oh, we can see how bad it is. Look, it's really, it's just resting on the top of the old rotten stump. So there we go. Onwards. Right, well, we're in the other side, the neighbour's garden. All ready to go. Got me Post Buddies. All ready to whack them in the ground. And I'm stuck in behind the neighbour's oil tank here, look. So it's not the greatest working space, but it could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse. But, onwards and upwards, so to speak. Okay, so I've left some of the audio going on this so you can hear me whacking them into the ground. Hopefully it'll come over my top of my audio. But yeah, this first one went in fairly easy actually. I always thought, oh wow, this is easy. I don't think I've whacked my hand yet either. Yeah, you've got to hold it. They're too springy to try and hammer in at this stage. So it's going in fairly well. I'm just sort of explaining. I've got a fair way to go yet to get the line level with the finished soil level. You can see it's going in pretty good. Not bad at all. I'm making it look easy, aren't I? That's a heavy lump hammer as well. I think, is it a 10-pound lump hammer? It's a big old beastie anyway. So there we go. Nearly done. Right, so I've got a bit of batten behind it now, just to make it a bit easier to hammer in. So it's much easier, because otherwise you're too close to the post itself. But that one's done now. So on to the next one. Now this one did prove a real pig to get in. I don't know why. Whether this side of the post wasn't as rotted out. It took a bit of starting as well. But yeah, this one did make me break out in a bit of a sweat. But I did eventually get it going, as you will see. I'm sort of starting it at a bit of an angle, because it just makes it a lot easier. Right, so I'm just trying it from a bit of a different angle. Wasn't really very successful, but I was able to give it a fair few whacks. But I kept hitting the actual post with the head of the hammer, which wasn't very successful. But you can see I've got a bit of batten in there just to hold it away from the fence post, but I'm probably a bit premature with that. I should have put that in when I got a bit further down. But we're getting there. We are getting there slowly and slowly. But literally, it's a couple mil every blow. It takes a while to get this one in, I can assure you. Right, well, I've moved position again. Got me batten in. I've decided to give it some severe welly now. You can see it's starting to go in. Oh, missed. Yeah, it's starting to go in quite nicely now. You sort of get past a certain stage and it starts going in a lot easier, I suppose, when it's got past the worst of the concrete at the top. But yeah, really, really difficult to hammer in this one compared to the first one. It took me 3 times as long to knock this second one in. But it's looking good. And a damn sight easier than trying to dig out that poor old post. You imagine we'd have to dig all the way around that, then get a breaker in to break the concrete out around it. And it would have taken a fair while. Then we'd have had to disassemble the fence and disconnect the old post from the fence. So I'm nearly there. I think I'm pretty much there now. Just having a quick look. It's about right. There we go. Job done. Sorted. All we've got to do now is screw it in place. Okay, time to get the impact driver out. Just checking the post for level. Not far off. So in we go with the first screw. Now the top screw hole is slotted. So the idea is that you can put the 2 screws in the top of each bar, and you can loosen them off, level it, tighten them back up, and then drive the rest of the screws in. I think this one was just slightly off level, so you know, me being me, couldn't resist giving it a bit of an extra straighten up. But even with the second one, I've got it sort of held pretty level. There we go. So it's just a case now of checking it for straightness. And then it's time to drive all the rest of the screws in. So like I say, I wasn't overly happy. It was nearly level but not quite, so I just tweaked it a little bit. Just checking it side to side, but to be fair, you can't do anything if it's not level sideways, because it's attached to the rails. So just loosening this one off again, pulling it a bit straighter, tightening it back up. There we are, final check. Job done. So it's just a case now of driving the rest of the screws in. So I think what we'll do is we'll fast forward this a bit, because I'm sure you don't want to watch me driving screws in for the next 5-10 minutes. There you go, all done. Last screw's going in. Just making sure everything's okay. Give it a good kick. You gonna kick it, Graham? Bound to kick it. No? But, yeah, absolutely rigid. Couldn't believe how strong that is now. Really impressed. There you go. Got to give it this symbolic kick, haven't you? What? Right, in for a close-up then. Just showing you that it isn't moving anymore. Nice and rigid. Bit of flare from the sun there. It's a lovely day, actually. Certainly picked a good day to do it. So just a close-up. Couldn't get the bottom screw in because that bit of the post is rotten there, but all the rest went in fine. Yeah, really good job. I'm really impressed with that. Certainly, I've got enough to do another 2 fence posts. So if we get any more rotted off, that's definitely the way to do it. And I've got a bit of a sweat on there, look. You know. But yeah, happy with that. I don't know what I'm saying now, but I look pleased anyway, which is the main thing. So back to have a look at the other side in a bit. Right, just a case of putting all the earth back in place, stamping it down. Nothing much to see here, just a bit of a tidy up to get it back to how it was originally. I don't suppose you need to even think backfill it really, but you know, I'm going to knock the camera any second because I think the camera's rested on a bit of earth I took out of there, but yeah, there we go. Now I've got it. There we go. Yeah, just a case of backfilling it, stamping it down a bit, and then I think pretty much apart from looking at the other side, we're almost done. There we are then, just about finished. Looks nice. I mean, you can see that there's a repair done to it, but you don't know, you don't realise how far into the ground those things are driven. But bit of final placing back, another kick, and job done. Round to the other side. Right, back on our side of the fence, down to have a look. Give it a good old wiggle. Coming down to where I did the repair. I did push those feather edge boards back together a bit better, and I have screwed that back in. Screwed those rails back in properly now. Just coming down to have a quick look at another post. There's quite a big span between posts on this fence. I would have thought they should have put another one a little bit closer than that. But just comparing it to one of the original posts, and it's as strong as, if not stronger, than the original. There's Coco getting in the shot. He had to get in the shot, didn't he? But there you go. Well chuffed with that. Did the job absolutely brilliantly. Really, really pleased. So highly recommend those. Thanks for watching.